What is going on, folks? This is Mike Singer from blueandgold.com. We are live on YouTube. Appreciate the already, 300, close to 400 folks joining us live here already. And for those watching back, we appreciate you as well. Please go ahead, hit the thumbs up on this video. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well while you guys are hanging out here. News of the day upcoming is from Traverse City, Michigan Central High School linebacker Joshua Burnham. He is down to 3 schools, Michigan, Notre Dame, and Wisconsin. His commitment, we will bring you guys live. We have Patrick Engel from blueandgold.com. He is on site to stream the news for us, and we will also bring in at the top of the hour Rivals.com Midwest recruiting analyst Josh Hemholt to discuss Burnham as a football player. So let's talk about Burnham's recruitment a little bit. 3 finalists, Michigan, Notre Dame, and Wisconsin. It does feel more like a Michigan and Notre Dame battle. I know Wisconsin has been very involved from the jump in this recruitment. But it does, again, seem it's more like a Michigan-Notre Dame battle. Let's hear what he has to say about both schools. This is in a recent interview that he had with Hemholt, who, again, we're going to be bringing him in just a few minutes to talk about Burnham on tape. Here's what Josh Burnham had to say about Michigan. I have been in talks with all the new coaches, and they sound like they have something good coming to Michigan. I have been on the phone with Jim Harbaugh, too, and it's all going up from where they were. And here's what Burnham had to say about Notre Dame. Our connections have been getting stronger. Coach Freeman is awesome. I can't wait to be able to meet him in person and get a better feel for him. But what I've been able to see over the phone and on FaceTime, he has amazing energy. So that is a couple of quotes from Josh Burnham in that recent interview with Rivals.com's Josh Hemholt. Let's get into kind of some notes and stats here on Joshua Burnham. Ranked as the number 141 overall player in the country, number 5 inside linebacker, number 3 player in the state of Michigan. See the future cast picks there. Seems to be a Notre Dame lean going into his announcement here. We will just have to see, when he announces here. Hang on one second, guys. We got a super chat. Brandon, appreciate you, brother. Back to your regularly scheduled content here. Burnham was named to the 2020 Detroit Free Press Football Dream Team, which is really one of the highest honors that you can get in the state of Michigan. Notre Dame linebacker commit Nolan Ziegler also received that. Donovan Edwards, Michigan signee. Rocco Spindler, Notre Dame signee. It's a big honor in the state of Michigan to be on the Detroit Free Press Dream Team. In his junior season, 61 tackles. 3.5 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 1 interception. Also played quarterback, tight end, accounted for 1,953 yards during his junior season. 30 touchdowns he accounted for. Guy really getting it done on both sides of the ball. Also plays on the basketball team and throws down some dunks. There's definitely a lot to like when you're watching Josh Burnham's tape, which... Let's go ahead and bring in Josh Hemholt. He has just joined our green screen here, or our green room here. Let me bring in Mr. Hemholt in just one moment here, folks. We're going to be watching Josh Burnham's junior tape with Josh Hemholt. I'm just going to get the tape loaded up, and we will bring him in. Always ads on Huddle. I'm playing the Huddle and ad on there. So let me wait for this ad to launch. And again, bringing in Patrick Engel. For those who are just joining us, Joshua Burnham's announcement coming up at about 10:15 past the hour. But before we go to Patrick Engel, who is live and will bring us the announcement, we're going to go ahead and bring in Josh Hemholt here. There's Josh. So Josh, you've been able to cover Mr. Burnham. I believe you've seen him at least once in person. Let's go ahead and pop on his junior tape. There's a few minutes until you actually get to see him playing linebacker. So when you watch him in person, watch his film, what do you see?
Well, obviously, film was the first thing I saw of him. Then get a chance to see him live. You know, what you have is an all-around true football player. I mean, Joshua Burnham is the best player on his field almost every single time he steps on the field. He's the best player on his football team, so that's why they have him play quarterback, which is obviously the most important position for any team, but certainly at the high school level. So what was interesting about seeing Burnham live is that when I played quarterback in high school, I know the mental energy that takes out of you. I played both ways. I was naturally like Burnham, a defensive player. That was where my highest talent was. That's why I went to college to play. But obviously, playing quarterback, that takes away a lot of your mental energy, your preparation in the pregame, ahead of the game and in practice week. And so I think that once Joshua Burnham gets a chance to focus on linebacker exclusively, his development is really going to explode. All the physical tools are there. All the obviously when you're playing quarterback, you have a feel for the game that other players don't get a chance to get. And you can't play quarterback without a feel for the game. So you have the intangibles. I think as you look down the checklist of things that you want in a linebacker prospect, Joshua Burnham has all of those too.
And again, for folks just joining us here, we're with Rivals.com Midwest recruiting analyst Josh Hemholt watching Joshua Burnham's junior tape. And Burnham will be announcing his decision at about 10:15 past the hour, choosing between Michigan, Notre Dame, and Wisconsin. Let's talk about his ranking a little bit. Number 5 inside linebacker in the country. Do you feel like he's a guy who could end up? What is he nationally? I think it was around 141, or I believe it was. Do you feel like he's a guy who could jump into the Rivals 100 and move up that inside linebacker ranking?
Sure, there's nothing that really caps his ceiling. I mean, he's not a guy who's undersized. He's not a Zach Thomas. You know what I mean? He has all. There's nothing that caps his potential right now. And I've talked about this before. You look at a guy like a Bob Sanders or Zach Thomas or somebody who is undersized, and they played above their skill set. And I think at this point, Joshua Burnham plays not quite to his skill set. So, you always hear the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Well, in Burnham's case, I think it's the flip side. The sum of the parts at this stage of his development is greater than the whole. I mean, when I went and watched him play in the state semifinals, he does get caught up in traffic a lot. He doesn't make the extra plays at this point in your time. And that's, I think, like I had spoken about earlier, when you're committing that much mental energy and that much physical effort to the offensive side of the ball, there's got to be, it's going to catch up to you somewhere. And I think once Joshua Burnham is able to focus strictly on linebacker, his development is going to really take off. So there is nothing, though, physically, athletically, mentally, football IQ wise, obviously leadership intangibles are all there. There's nothing that caps his potential.
It's funny, Josh. Sometimes when I do these videos, I'm like kind of worried that, is this tape about to finish while I'm doing this video? Am I gonna have to cut to something else? Because I'm producing this, and there's no producer in the background. This is all me doing all this stuff live. This highlight tape though is 30 minutes long, so we can sit back and have a cocktail and watch this thing. This is the longest highlight tape I've ever seen. I wanted to mention. You talk about all these different positions he plays. One, his conditioning. This kid's got to be so well conditioned, playing all the snaps that he is. But you talk about versatility in that if inside linebacker doesn't work out, I've heard that he can rush off the edge and be a pretty good player there. Well, hey, if neither of those work out, I think he would be a really good H-back. And on top of everything here, he's going to be a solid special teams guy, like no doubt in my mind. So you have to think that this kid's got like a very high floor. Like the bust potential here seems very minimal.
Yep, and no doubt. I mean, you look, we rate him as where we rate him. We rank him as high as we do because we expect him to be a really outstanding college player and play in the NFL one day. He has all the tools to be able to do that. And like you're mentioning, you talk about the physical conditioning, but and now I'm going to sound like a broken record, but there is mental conditioning there as well that really gets honed when you're playing two positions like quarterbacking the offense and quarterbacking the defense, which essentially he does from the middle linebacker position. So all of those things are going to help Joshua Burnham at the next level.
All right, currently texting with Patrick Engel. He says everything's running on time, so we'll be able to bring you guys Joshua Burnham's decision right between, should be 5:10 to 5:15. So make sure you guys stick in there. Is it much of a surprise that he's going to stick in the Midwest, whether it's Michigan, Notre Dame, or Wisconsin? He's going to end up playing Big Ten or independent ball? I mean, he had Alabama. He had some SEC offers. I mean, do you feel like his playing style is going to fit one of those three schools well?
Yeah, well, I live in West Michigan, and so I know, my brother lives up in Traverse City area, and I know just that area of the country, and there, where you've had guys from that area go play at Oregon. You've
Hey,
had guys
Josh.
from that area go
Josh, we,
further
we
out.
have Patrick Engel calling in, so we're gonna go ahead and oh, now he's not. I'm sorry. Continue, Josh. Doing things on the fly here.
So guys in that area of the country usually do stick closer to home, and obviously, I think you look at those schools, the football and academic combinations at all three schools, particularly Michigan and Notre Dame, which I feel is what it ultimately will come down to. Those teams don't necessarily like to admit it, but they are very similar. Both, tradition-rich football programs combined with elite academic institutions. So it's no surprise that they compete against each other for a lot of recruits.
All right, and again, we're going to be going live to Joshua Burnham's announcement in just a moment here, and it looks like Patrick Engel is calling in. Josh, if you can hang on, let's bring in Patrick and see what the scene is at, and we'll go there.
Excited for Josh, and we can't wait. So thank you for being here. Yeah. They'll be talking to him through the earbuds, and so you won't hear that conversation pretty much, but you'll hear what he has to say in a little bit. So I think, yeah, as soon as it kicks through, you'll know because we'll be talking. Josh, talk. Yeah, you have to be vocal too. Wow. No, Everybody's like, oh, that what they said? No.
All right, guys. Looks like we are. That will get started in just a few moments here. Let's. You guys can see my pretty face while we wait for this announcement here. Joshua Burnham will be going live. Just a few minutes. See the scene there. Snow. Patrick texted me it was raining. I mean, some nasty rain coming in. That is Northern Michigan in the middle of March. Favorite going into the recruitment does seem to be Notre Dame. Michigan has been long involved in the recruitment. Wisconsin has done a great job in the recruitment as well. I think that the case for Michigan seems to be, probably much more Michigan pull locally than Notre Dame pull. Michigan's been on him long. I mean, longer than Notre Dame. And I do want to say that Wisconsin has been involved in this recruitment for quite some time as well. I didn't want to talk over Mr. Burnham if he was about to commit here. Recruiting timeline. Pop this on real quick here. First scholarship offer from Western Michigan, November 3rd, 2019. Wisconsin offered January 27th, 2020. Michigan, April 17th. That was a big one for him. Alabama came in. Like I told Josh Emholt that, Alabama was a school that was on his offer list. But, didn't seriously maybe he would have considered the Crimson Tide a little bit more seriously if he was able to check them out, but the pandemic would not allow it. Notre Dame offers June 25th. And then you have the top schools announcement of Michigan, Notre Dame, and Wisconsin. And then on March 9th, just 8 days ago, he announced that he would be making that March 17th commitment date. All right, you guys have seen me enough. Let's go back to the announcement and see what's going on there.
That's my sister Jordan, Dad, Sean, and Mom Judy. Absolutely, thank you. They just finished a little pop with commercial break, and I think it's going to come back to it. So, all right. Well, commercial break. You can talk for a minute. It might be a 30-second commercial break. I don't know. So he's going to talk directly to them. You might not be able to hear him, so just bear with us on that. He's going to speak up as loud as he can without blowing their. Morning.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's great. It's been a really fun day, and I'm really excited. I mean, I've been looking forward to this for a while now, so I'm happy that it's finally here. Yeah, it was a lot of fun towards the start. I mean, being able to go to these campuses, watch some of the games, and then that period hit, which was kind of, I mean, it wasn't the best, but I mean, we still worked through it. We were able to get on Zoom with some coaches, and I mean, that was a lot of fun being able to get like connections with all those guys and seeing all like the facilities that they had to share. I mean, it was really cool. It definitely tapped me towards the start. I mean, just like going on some of the first few games that I went to. I mean, it was just jaw dropper. I mean, my eyes were just looking everywhere. It was just a really awesome experience. Yeah, I mean, we grew up in the state of Michigan. I mean, I didn't really want to like make that like a limit. I mean, I definitely wanted to be open to everything. I mean, that's exactly what I am. I definitely see myself more as a linebacker, but I mean, I've been playing quarterback, which I mean, it's a lot of fun, but I like the defensive side where I just get to fly around and hit people. I mean, that's the best part.
Yes, commercial break. We should have ahead of this. CBS Sports is doing a live feed online, so anybody that wanted to through their phone can log into CBS Sports Live and actually be able to hear a lot of this that's happening. But
So that's why
a little late notice, sorry.
I posted it on his Facebook if that helps, if anybody wants it.
Or you can go huddle around Shuba. I can hear it.
Josh is the only one that can hear it up here. That's why I keep.
Let me turn it up. I'll try not to interfere.
Thank you. First off, I would like to thank God for blessing me with this amazing opportunity. I want to thank my family for being with me every step of the way, helping me no matter what. All the coaches that have helped me with endless hours out on the field and the weight room. All the staff at Central that have helped. And lastly, all you teammates, I wouldn't be here without you guys, so I appreciate it. And with that being said, I'd like to continue my athletic and academic career at the University of Notre Dame. Notre Dame's an amazing place. The culture there is unreal. I mean, I just feel like it was the best fit for me. I mean, it's a blessing. I mean, it's always been a dream of mine to play college football. I mean, this is unreal. It's more than I could ever ask for.
Well, there you have it, folks. Joshua Burnham announces his commitment to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Big news for Notre Dame, announcing his pledge. There's the commitment graphic. 6'3", 200-pounder, 4-star prospect, committing to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. He joins, Nolan Ziegler, 2 4-star linebacker commits for Notre Dame in the state of Michigan. Sorry, guys, about the stream there. When you're doing this live, things that can be out of your control. So appreciate you guys sticking around to the end here. A bunch of 4-star guys in this class. You have Joey Tanona, commit for the Irish on the offensive line. Nolan Ziegler, 4-star linebacker, who I just mentioned. Ty Chan, another 4-star offensive lineman. Tyson Ford, Notre Dame's highest-ranked player in the class, a top 100 nationally ranked player. Jadarian Price inside the Rivals 250, big-time running back. Steve Angeli, Notre Dame's quarterback, commit in the class, a 4-star player. Most recent commit before Burnham, 4-star cornerback Jaden Mickey. So Burnham joins that group as 4-star prospects. And then Notre Dame has three-star prospects. Jack Nickel, all he did was pick Notre Dame over Florida State, LSU, Oregon, and a bunch of other schools. Aiden Gobira, a defensive end who picked Notre Dame over Virginia and Penn State. He's really showing out during his spring season as a junior. An Amorion Walker, committed to Notre Dame last Wednesday. A high upside young man. He's got wheels. He's got size. It'll be really interesting to see if Amorion Walker can put it all together, because he could be a big-time get for Notre Dame. So that is Joshua Burnham committing to Notre Dame. Huge pickup for the Fighting Irish, guys. Michigan really wanted him. Michigan also wanted Nolan Ziegler. Michigan also really wanted Rocco Spindler in that 2021 class. Of course, Spindler, son of Mark Spindler, a former great defensive lineman at Pitt, and then in the NFL several years for the Lions. Notre Dame was able to go into Michigan's backyard and grab all 3 players. So plenty of kudos to the Fighting Irish staff for these recruiting wins. Appreciate you guys sticking around for the entire video here and going through these kind of hurdles here. If you want to get the best recruiting coverage, best team coverage, best overall coverage of Notre Dame athletics, make sure you not only subscribe to our YouTube channel right here, but go to blueandgold.com, punch in the promo code IRISH60. That'll get you 2 months free of premium access at blueandgold.com. You're not going to want to miss it. That's going to do it for this live stream. Appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your week, and happy St. Patrick's Day.